Well, welcome everybody. I wanted to do a video kind of sharing with you one of the great American war heroes, and this is going to be on Revolver, and this is going to be a series of videos where we look at war heroes from around the world, and this one is near and dear to my heart. His name is Chris Kyle. He is the greatest sniper in American history. He was born April 8th, 1974, and he was the United States Navy SEAL veteran and sniper. He served 4 tours in Iraq and was awarded several commendations for the act of heroism and outstanding service in combat. He was awarded 1 Silver Star Medal, 4 bronze medals with V devices, a Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal, and numerous other unit and personal awards. He was discharged from the U.S. Navy in 2009 and published his best-selling autobiography, American Sniper. A film was done about him by Clint Eastwood and was released 2 years later, 2013. Kyle was murdered by Eddie Ray Roth at a shooting range near Chalk Mountain, Texas, called Rough Creek Lodge. The former Marine, he had post-traumatic stress disorder and was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison without parole. He was known as the legend, the Devil of Ramada, Tex. He, I don't know if you've seen the movie. Have you guys seen the movie? Well, let's take a look at the trailer here, and you can kind of get a feel for his life here.
I got a military-age male on a cell phone watching the convoy, over.
If you think he's reporting troop movement, you have a green light. Your call, over.
Maybe he's just calling his old lady.
He stepped off. Hold on, I got a woman and a kid 200 yards out, moving towards the convoy. Her arms aren't swinging. She's carrying something. Yeah, she's got a grenade. She's got an RKG Russian grenade. She's saying to the kid.
You say a woman and a kid?
You got eyes on this? Can you confirm?
Negative. Your call.
They fry you if you're wrong.
This is a great film. American Sniper is a great film. An American classic. If you haven't seen it, see it. We follow his life here through the war, and that is a great scene of what plays out. I'm not going to spoil it for you. You go see the movie. This is phenomenal. This is our Dada, right? This is what it is. It's our Dada. And this is a true hero. The film was incredible. I did a movie review on it, I think on Movie Community College. Go see the film. This film came out of nowhere and was just lifted America up. Like, you know, it was such a patriotic film, was such a film that just meant so much to so many people. You got to see the film. You absolutely got to see the film. I do believe the movie was made once he was dead, but before the film came out, he wrote a book about his life, and he was on Bill O'Reilly, the Factor, who was like our Arnab Goswami. When you look at Arnab Goswami, I see a lot of Bill O'Reilly in him, and he's explaining the book, explaining what had happened in his life, and he tells a story that is going to set the stage for I think probably one of the greatest acts of just indecency by a fellow American. He tells a story that he was in a bar in Jesse the Body Ventura, who was a wrestler in WCW. He was the governor of Minnesota. He's kind of a weird dude. Started taunting about a soldier who was dead, who died in the war, and just kind of was putting him down. And Chris Kyle, being the patriot that he was, stood up and confronted him and said, you need to knock it off. You need to shut your mouth. And they have an altercation, and he lays Jesse out. He knocks him down. And let's go ahead and take a look at this clip here with Bill O'Reilly.
So, Chief, I read your book. Very entertaining. I recommend it for my audience. I think they'll like it. First of all, you say you knocked Jesse Ventura to the floor with a punch. Now, you don't mention his name, but everybody knows who that is. Number one, that happened? You knocked him out?
Yeah. Well, I knocked him down.
Knocked him down. Why? Why would you punch Ventura?
It was in '06, was the year that we lost our first 2 SEALs in Iraq. We came home. We lost our last guy just before coming home. We had the wake in a SEAL bar there in Coronado, and he was there. He was there for a speaking engagement at a bud ceremony, graduating class.
Because he was a SEAL, right? Yes, sir. Was a Navy SEAL. So he was bad-mouthing the war, right?
Bad-mouthing the war, bad-mouthing Bush, bad-mouthing America.
And you took exception?
I did find a problem with it. The family was there. I asked him to please tone it down, that we did not want to upset the family members of Mikey Monsoor.
Who was killed?
Yes, sir. And he earned the Medal of Honor. He jumped on a grenade and saved everybody else around.
But I want to be clear. Ventura wasn't attacking him at all, verbally bashing him. He was just bashing the whole thing in general.
Yes, sir. Until he said we deserve to lose a few guys.
He said we, the United States.
No, he said y'all deserve to lose a few guys.
Navy SEALs.
I'm assuming he was saying that to me.
Was he drunk?
No, sir. I never saw him with a drink in hand at all.
So once he said you deserve to lose a few guys, you popped him?
Yes, sir.
Did he fight back?
He went down. The cops were there. I took off running.
You ran?
Yes, sir.
Did they arrest you?
No, sir. I have a Master Chief that always said, punch and run.
Now, if I ask you a tough question, you're going to pop me tonight? I'm not, of course, do that, sir. But no, okay, I'm good. All right, now, the other thing in the book is that you are credited with 150 certified kills, which means you as a sniper took out 150 guys, and somebody else saw it, witnessed it. So you are the most lethal sniper in U.S. history, and you have the medals to prove it. 5 Bronze Stars, 2 Silver Stars, and all of that. What struck me in the book, though, is that you considered the people you were killing, the Iraqis you were killing, quote-unquote, savages.
The people I was killing, not just Iraqis.
Why did you consider the enemy savages?
From their actions, the way they live day to day, as far as the violence they commit on American troops, the beheadings, the rape of innocent villagers and townspeople that they go into just to intimidate them. They live by putting fear into other people's hearts, and civilized people just don't act that way.
You were so effective in Iraq that they put $20,000 on your head. If one of them had killed you, they would have been paid $20,000. Do you believe that they considered you a savage?
I'm sure they did. Honestly, I don't know, and I really don't care.
So you were committed to killing these people because you in your heart believed that they deserved to die.
I wasn't so much committed to killing them as I'm committed to making sure every service member that was over there, whether American or Allied, came home.
But as a sniper, your job is to kill them, not wound them, not arrest them. You have to have a certain mentality to be a sniper. You're killing them.
Oh, I'm killing them to protect my fellow Americans.
And you liked it. You liked that job. In that book, that comes, you know, your wife didn't want you to do it. She wanted you to stay home. You went back. How many times did you go back?
4 times.
4 times. You liked killing these guys. Did you ever figure that out?
Well, I mean, it's not a problem taking out someone who wants your people dead. That's not a problem at all.
Do you ever, now, looking back, have any regrets at all about anything that you did?
Yes, I do. And it's the people I couldn't save.
The Americans you couldn't save, or the Allied forces?
Americans, the local Iraqis, anyone who I witnessed violence coming down on them, and I could not save them.
That's your regret?
Yes, sir.
You don't have post-traumatic stress or anything like that, or, you know, that you killed so many human beings? That doesn't come back at you?
None of my problems come from the people I've killed.
It's very fascinating. And that's why I want people to read your book, because I think if they do, if they read your book, Chief, American Sniper, they'll understand what war is really about. Because I think too many of us don't understand what war is really about.
Well, I mean, war is hell. It's definitely, Hollywood fantasizes about it, makes it look good. War sucks.
But they need guys like you to win.
You have to get in the mentality, and you have to not think of them as a human being. You have to portray them as, that's why I put
savages.
Savage, definitely.
Right. All right, Chief, thanks very much. We appreciate you coming on in.
Well, thank you for having me.
So, when this story broke, Jesse the Body then sued the family. And at the time that this lawsuit was going on, Kyle had an outreach where he would take soldiers who had PST, and he would hang out with them, and he would talk with them, and he would take them shooting and do soldier things and try to just talk with them and listen, to give them a chance to just compress, get things out, decompress, I should say, and get things out, and try to put the war behind them. And it was on that fateful day that they were out doing that, that one of his fellow soldiers turned a gun on him and killed him, just being messed up from the war. And Jesse sued Chris Kyle. He sued him because he said that story was not true about him being knocked down, and that ruins his reputation, that he has this reputation of being a tough guy that's part of his public persona, and you damaged his brand when you said that. And of course, the American Sniper being dead cannot counteract it. And he wins the lawsuit because, again, they can't put up a defense because he's dead. And it goes on the estate, which means he takes money from the widow. He takes money for the widow. And I got a little clip of him being on with the Young Turks, which is a problem in of itself. So let's take a look at this clip, as Jesse says in his own words.
You sued Chris Kyle's estate.
Well, him first.
Him first,
and then it
that's right.
automatically reverts to the estate on his tragic death, yeah.
Right. And so American Sniper, and I've had a lot of choice words to say about him. And so people get mad at me for, he's a hero. Yeah, okay, he served. Jesse, you ever served with anyone that didn't tell the truth before? My guess is there's a decent number of people that are human beings that serve who don't tell the truth.
In the Navy, it's called sea stories. They have a term for it.
Yeah.
It's very well known in the Navy. It's called a sea story.
Yeah. So having nothing to do with your lawsuit, Chris Kyle was not sitting on top of the Superdome shooting random people in the middle of Hurricane Katrina. Of course he wasn't. That's an obvious lie, right? So there's so many things he says.
Not to him.
Yeah. So you sued him because he lied about you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what the law is there for.
It never happened, and it literally destroyed my public career.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was off the grid at the time the story broke, living off the grid in Mexico. I couldn't defend myself. All I could do was Skype my attorney and bring a lawsuit immediately to stop it. And then I didn't return until May. And by then the damage had all been done. I lost my television show over it, Conspiracy Theory, over that. I could not get any employment in the United States because of it. I was a pariah. for defending myself, and all the time they portrayed it that I would, after he died, that I was going after the widow and the children, which wasn't true, because anyone that's written a book, in the contract, any lawsuits are handled by the publishing company, and they have insurance, and they have their lawyers to handle that. So the family was never in jeopardy of losing anything, and I wasn't out for money. I was out to clear my name. And he wouldn't do it when I met him face to face. He did, for all the courage he had, he didn't have the courage to tell the truth.
So he had said that you had started a fight with him?
No, he said that what happened was we were there together. Mm-hmm. That event occurred. I was there because in the tradition of the UDT S.E.A.L community, when every 100 classes, I'm class 58, well, I came to the graduation of class 158. That was back in about the year 1990, roughly, I think. And this was now going to be the graduation of class 258 tomorrow. So I flew out to San Diego to attend their graduation. So McPease is the watering hole for all the SEALs in Coronado. So the night before I went there, I met friends there. We sat at a table. Well, Kyle and his group were there also. They were there in a wake for one of their comrades who was killed in the Iraq War. And they were there for a completely different reason than we were. And they also had an $1,100 drinking budget. That they drank, their bill that night was $1,100 for the Kyle group. Do you think they were intoxicated?
Yep. And so what did he say happened?
My group was not. Nothing happened. I took pictures with people. Nothing occurred. The next day I went to the graduation. The graduation happened. The following day we had a get-together Saturday on the beach of my class of classmates from old. And I went home. Never occurred to me. And then in the year 2012, this book comes out where he alleges that I said Navy SEALs deserve to die and lose a few. Now, why would I say that about my own unit? If I believed that, why would I be there honoring a graduating class? Makes no sense. He then said that I bowed up to fight him and that he decked me, knocked me down, and then ran so he wouldn't get caught. Well, in the trial, no one testified they saw me get hit. Not even his buddies could say it. Nobody testified that I said anything like that they heard me do that.
That's why you won.
That's why. And think of that for a moment. He's now gone, and the trial automatically goes to his estate to clear my name. How overwhelming must the evidence have been for the jury to have sided with me over the widow of the dead war veteran? But they did.
And the jury didn't know that the insurance is paying for it. They thought it's coming out of the estate, and they sided with you anyway.
No, but they did learn that because the federal judge allowed it in at the end of the trial. Because why? They did what was called poor mouthing, which is an exception. Normally, they don't allow the jury to know that insurance is involved. But if the other side poor mouths, if they get on the stand and say, oh, this is strapping me financially, when it's not, that's what they did. They led the jury to believe that I was hurting the family to lower so they'd win the case. Well, then the judge still wouldn't let it in because we appealed to him. They're poor mouthing. Wouldn't still let it in. Finally, two people from HarperCollins, the book company, came to testify to diminish my role in the book, right? So I wouldn't get a big award. Well, at that point, they're the ones providing the insurance. At that point, the federal judge ruled it can come in limited now. That's too big of a conflict of interest. When they're the ones providing the insurance and they're here testifying to maybe change or lower the award. So what happened, it was 4 questions in an 11-day trial. It was a half a page of a final summation of 20 pages. And the appeals court overturned it on that. and said the jury was poisoned, even though they admitted the award wasn't out of line. And that's supposed to be taken into consideration too. Now, when the award's out of line is when they award $140 million. I won 1.83.
So, look, the case is interesting in and of its own right. The case is interesting because you've got two really big personalities that Americans know, you, Chris Kyle. So it gets a lot of attention. But actually, the most important part of the case is the appeal, because then the media companies came
into the case
and against you during
wanting
the appeal.
It overturned.
Why?
Because I won on defamation and what's called unjust enrichment, that they made money by defaming me, which they did. We proved in court. Do you know what Kyle's book sales was the day before he said what he said about me? 2,000. Do you know what the book sales was? It came out in the courtroom. You know what it was a day later? 100,000.
You mean when that controversy broke? Okay.
In one day, it went from 2,000 to 102,000. Pre-sale was 2,000, and then he comes out with this revelation that he punched me out in a bar, and it jumped 100,000. And HarperCollins went so far as they then continued it. They wanted it rolling. We got their emails where they say, this is hot, hot, hot. We got to, ride this. Who ever expected? Even they never expected. It was a niche book. It then soared to #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. Well, guess who the booster rocket was that took it there? What he did to me.
Right. And so, again, the media companies...
They even made it to where if you typed my name in on the internet, it automatically went to the Kyle story. Now, they don't have a right to do that with my name on the internet.
Jesse, look, I know you've gotten a ton of heat for it.
Oh.
Okay, but it's here, you don't have to convince anybody because I know the guy's a notorious liar. Okay, that book is riddled with lies. So, am I surprised that he made up a story about you, a guy who pretends to have shot people from the top of the Superdome? Of course,
you don't confront me in a hotel in New York and scream at me in front of me and all the public.
You get that all the time now, right?
Not all the time, but I get it.
This is real emotional for me. I'm sorry. So on Chris Kyle's death, the nation mourned it. Here is footage of just the average Americans coming to the highway as the procession was going by. Sorry.